Welcome, everybody, to As If by Magic Conversations. We've been having these conversations every Thursday about all the magical things. And thank you for joining me. So, we're using a new platform here. So, I love to engage with you and have your comments. So, if there's a bit of a delay, we're on a little learning curve, okay? So, hi, Leonie. Hello. I see you there. Awesome. Hi, Joanne. Hi, Twy. Okay, good. This is actually working. I can see you guys. Okay, good. Awesome. So did you like the intro, Alicia? Right? Right? Oh, our amazing video editor, Lissa Falk, created that. Yay. Good morning, Jackie. Hi, Susanna. No delay so far. Yeah, this is good. I'm enjoying this. Okay, so what are we going to talk about today? We're going to launch off of this topic, and we can go anywhere as we do on these Thursdays. But someone wrote in a question about being in their power, and it's cool how I can see how people have learned about this concept of being in their power and what that means to them to be in their power, to be powerful, to have your own back, to include you. And where are we so quick to give up our power for other people? There we go, right there. Do you perceive that? So, hi, Marina. Yay. So here on these weekly lives, we use the tools of Access Consciousness. And if you haven't heard about them, please check them out. And one of the tools we use is the clearing statement. And you can find out more about this magical tool called the clearing statement at theclearingstatement.com. And so as we go along today, I might be using that to clear some of the energies of what's going on here. So my first kind of thing that I'm aware of is to ask again, how quick are you to give up your power to anyone and everything that requires it of you? Everything that is times a godzillion. Here it is. There's a clearing statement. Will you destroy and create it all? Please. Right, wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. Okay, so rather than being in your power, because it to me, and I'm a bit of a energetic word precisionist, I guess, is when I notice one little word will tweak the energy for me, and then I will just slightly alter it, and it will open up the space. So when I look at being in your power, it's something that you have to go into. And it's not something that you just be. So everywhere that you've been trying to be in your power rather than be power, will you destroy and create all that? Right, wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. Joanne says, it always amazes me when I catch your videos and it's exactly what I need to hear. I'm so glad. That's amazing. So maybe this is an area, and you could look at where does this show up for you? So I remember growing up, and anytime I was around an authority figure, so it could be a teacher, it could be the principal, a police officer or whatever, I would diminish myself so much because that's what I thought I was supposed to do. Here I am, this little bomb of a person, and I would go, oh no, and I would diminish myself and contract myself to the smallest denominator that I could whenever I was around an authority figure. So look at this. Where does this play out for you? If it does, if this applies, is it around your boss? Is it around your mom or your dad, a parent? Is it around your partner? Where do you diminish the power and the potency of you? And what would it be like to be the power of you without having to force anything, without having to do anything? You actually get to be you. So, oh, hello from Norway. Hello. Torgen, is that it? Oh, I love your name. And Jackie says, yeah, that suits me too, the being in your power. Alicia says, Joanne, as if by magic. And Leonie says, oh, yes, what a difference being power or be in my power. Being power, being in your power. So everywhere that you thought you had to get into your power so that you could not be diminished, will you destroy and create all that? Right, wrong, good and bad, puck and pot, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. So Jan says, anytime I'm around strangers, I literally make my body so small I don't stand out to them. And Angelique says, any authority. Yeah. Right? Okay, so whose lies and what lies have we all bought about diminishing you and diminishing your power and your potency, as though that is the correct thing to do, the right thing to do, the kind thing to do, the respectful thing to do, and anything else I haven't said here. Everything that is. Can we just rate it creative, please? Right, wrong, good and bad, buck and bud, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. So, yeah. So Lanny says, I diminish people who air a certain energy, cannot describe it though. Oh, you diminish around people or you diminish the people? Because that's a whole nother conversation. Please respond. And then Marina says, oh my God, kill us with that clearing. Yeah. Right? So the cool thing about diminish around people, I thought so. So tap into that energy, and you don't have to find a word for it, but it might be like, people that do superiority, people that do arrogance, people that are just have a need for you to diminish. So are you willing to acknowledge that you are so powerful, you are so potent, that you're so magical, that the only way for someone to have power over you is if you diminish yourself. And in that diminishment, you give them power. In some cases, you actually energetically feed them. You pour power into them so that they can have power over you. So how many times have you done that and then believed the lie that they have more power than you do? It's more often than not just that you fed them your own power to use against you. Everything that is. Be distracted, creative, please. Right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. So Marina says, the kind thing to do to diminish myself as a kindness that resonates. Yeah. So I've had a lot of actually potency show up lately around the conversation of kindness and around people that do kindness and exclude themselves. So here's the lie. The kind thing to do is to diminish yourself, right? We've probably heard that lie. We've seen it somewhere. Don't make them jealous. Don't make them feel less than themselves. However we picked it up. So the kind thing to do is to diminish yourself. But is that kind to you? When you diminish yourself, are you being kind to you? So if you get a no, then how can it be kind to someone else to diminish yourself? Because we are all a part of an ocean of oneness. So if you diminish yourself, you actually give less to the ocean. You diminish the entire ocean. How is that kind? How in any way is that actually kind? When you exclude you from kindness, that is the most unkind thing you can choose. So it's not kind. And people will use kindness, caring, honoring, respect. They will use these things to control you. It is just a means to control. And if you acknowledge that without a point of view, then you have so much more choice. So how many people have controlled you with their expectation, projection, or demand of you to be from their point of view, from their judgment of what kindness is, that excludes you. If it excludes you from the computation, it is not kindness. If it excludes you, it is not caring. It is not honoring. It is not nurturing. It is none of these elements are able to be present if it doesn't include you, because you are part of consciousness. So when you diminish your potency and power, it is actually not a contribution to the people that you think that you are helping and you think that you are being kind to. Anything that doesn't allow you to know what you know about that, will you just train and creative, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Okay, so now sorry, I'm a little bit getting over some kind of cold, you could say. I like to call it mutation, but whatever. So if I'm a little bit sniffly, my apologies. My apologies for that. So Naramata says, so other people won't feel bad, right? And then I ask you again, but do you feel good? When you diminish you, do you feel good? If you get no, then it doesn't actually make them feel good. It is a lie. It is an absolute lie that it actually makes them feel good. When you do caring, that's when you do caring, you do kindness, you do, you're doing something, you're not being something. So when you be something, it includes you. When you be something, it is you. and it contributes to everyone. So when you be power, you're being an energy that contributes to everyone and everything. When you're doing power, you're often doing power over people. So look at where are you doing and where are you being. And when you be something, it includes you. So when you're being caring, it includes you. When you're being kindness, when you're being honoring, you have to include you, because you can't be something and not include you. And that's the gift that you can be, rather than doing kindness and doing caring often has an element of proving or defense in it. So how many times in your life, and it may have been like, way back when, where someone has accused you of not caring about them? Or have you accused someone else? If you cared about me, this is what you would be doing. And then we do caring to accommodate that accusation, to defend, I do care about you, and you're going to defend your caring by doing caring rather than being caring. Everything that is, will you just trade and creative, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all night shorts, boys and beyonds. Okay, so Naramata asks, how can we not feed them with our energy and not give energy? Okay, that is a great question. I love that question. So one is, what if you're willing to be whatever energy and gift whatever energy is required? So this is a very different point of view, right? So we look at, okay, here's the big bad wolf, whoever it is. Maybe they're angry at you. Maybe they want to do domination over you. They want to have power over you. And to allow them to have power over you, you have to diminish yourself, right? Smaller, smaller, smaller. And then you feed them energy. And now we're like, how do we not give them energy? Well, it's actually not that you don't give them energy, because to not give them energy, you have to cut yourself off. You have to create separation. You have to put walls up, which gives you less. But instead of doing this diminishment thing, you actually ask, what energy, space, consciousness, and choice can me and my body be to have total ease with all of this? What energy, space, consciousness, and choice can me and my body be to be the power that will catalyze something greater here? What energy, space, consciousness, and choice can me and my body be to have my back here? Oh, Siri's trying to talk. To have my back here with total ease. Anything does all that, we just train and create it, please. Right and wrong, good and bad, Pokemon, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. So do you notice in that You don't diminish, and you don't require them to diminish. And you can be the contribution or the possibility or the catalyst for something different. But we think that we have to go to the polarity. So if you're like, whoa, I'm feeding them energy and they're taking from me. So then the polarity is the opposite. How do I keep all my energy here and not give them any? What if it's not that at all? What if it's a broader non-polarity choice? Cool. So, I just wanted to follow Naramata here for a second. So, yeah, implant, don't laugh too much. Don't be crazy. Don't be kind. Don't be joyful. You can't have that. Yeah. And so, what if that's part of when you're being power, you're being joyful? So, power doesn't always mean when you're being power, that doesn't mean that you're roar like a dragon all the time. Although it can show up that way. Absolutely. I love, breathing fire. It can show up as really melty. It can show up really nurturing. It could show up as so many different things. It could show up as like so much joy that it's hard for people to hold that fixed point of view of anger. It can show up, being power can show up multiple ways. And if you're willing to have that undefinedness of it, when you just ask that question, you can ask in your head. If you're in a conflict with someone, we often avoid conflict, or we choose conflict to fight. And what if you're just being the power to possibility, being the power to a different reality, being the power to a different choice? So anything that doesn't allow that for you, will you just trade and create it, please? Right, wrong, good and bad, pocket pot, all nine shorts, boys, beyonds. Jackie says, how much have we confused what power really is? Yeah, absolutely. And you can play with it being the power and being the potency, because they're very different kind of energies. If you've read the How to Become Money workbook, I highly recommend it. It is so good. And in it, Gary Douglas, the founder of Access Consciousness, he talks about being power and what that is. Like what power actually is the infinite source of energy that we are. And then potency is kind of like it's the power that changes something. So being like, what energy, space, conscious choice can me and my body be to be the potency that creates a greater reality here with total ease. You notice those two clearings, they're slightly different, but they're very, very powerful and potent. I think it's allow that to strain and create it, please. Right, wrong, good and bad, pocket pot, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. Okay, so I'm going back up in the thread just a minute because I do know I missed a few. So Heather says, I allowed everyone to control me on some level, mostly my potency, family, clients, children, bosses, coworkers. Holy shit. Yeah. So Heather, what would it take to, and so here's an exercise you guys can do too. So if you've like, wow, I really got like this person in particular, I have diminished myself for, I've given power over myself for, I've allowed to control me. So you could ask all the power, all the potency, and all the magic that you gave up for them or gave to them. So you kind of start to sense it, okay? And then you ask to recall, reclaim, re-own, and acknowledge all of it now. And notice what shows up for you. So some people actually have the sense of like something flowing into their body. Sometimes their body just relaxes, or they like feel like, whoa, I have so much more energy. I've heard people talk about like, I'm kind of vibrating. And just, you could do that a couple times with these people that you are now acknowledging that you have given control over you to. And then ask what else is possible from here. You don't have to go into resistance reaction. You don't have to fight to have to be out of control with them. It's just simply a choice. So anything that doesn't allow you to know the choice you have with your power, with your potency, and with your magic, and being it at all times, no matter what. Will you just train and create it, please? Right, wrong, good and bad, puck and pot, all night, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Okay, cool. So we're going to have some more deep dives. Torgan says, I create fever when I have to be around toxic people. Tax, social welfare, cute, not bright. Cool. And you might, so if your body's fevering, you might ask, you might actually want to ask yourself, is this a capacity here? Sometimes our bodies will do things like fever, and it's actually a capacity that we're not acknowledging. So you might be actually burning some shit up. Play with that. Ask some questions. Rena says, I love the clarity about being and doing things. Thank you. Awesome. So we're clearing all the implants. Amazing conversation. You get less if you put walls up. So do others get more then? That's a great question, Leonie. It really doesn't matter, because they have their own walls and barriers. So they have access to the whole ocean of consciousness too. And so you putting walls up doesn't necessarily give anyone else more. They're going to have more or less depending on what they're willing to receive. So Cass says, so often people think of power as power over. Yep. And Jackie says, how much have we confused what power really is? Exactly. Universe, show me, what is true power? What is true potency? What is it like for me? What do I know about it? Heather says, it's like avoiding conflict is to minimize our power and potency. Choosing conflict is to prove to others how amazing we are and how powerful we are. Really, yeah. Well said. Exactly. So yeah, how often are you avoiding conflict because you don't want to have power over anyone or them to have power over you, when you could actually just ask to be whatever power and potency is required? And then how often are you searching out conflict to prove to yourself that you're powerful? Because maybe you're really good at debating. You're really good at getting your own way. You're really good at this conflict thing. So what if you just acknowledged how powerful and potent you are and you didn't have to prove it to yourself? So Naramata, she asked the question, do we pull back our magic? Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, not to get too deep and philosophical with you all, you don't actually ever lose your magic. You don't actually ever but there's a sense of where we give our magic to someone. And that's where we're using this tool to recall our magic, reclaim our magic, re-own our magic, and acknowledge our magic. Yeah. Recalling. Heather says, would be my ex and these lawyers. The judicial system that I have to work within to finalize my property settlement. Okay, cool. So you could look at all of that and you could ask, so what energy, space, consciousness, choice, what magic, miracle, mystery, and possibility do me and my body have to be to allow all of this to actualize to my advantage with total ease? And anything that is not that, just train and create it, please. Right, wrong, good and bad, puck and pod, all night shorts, boys and beyond. So what's so cool about that is that you're just asking to be whatever's required. And you might notice you're in court, and you burst into tears and you don't know why. And you're just like, why am I crying? And that is what gets you what you are asking for, or you end up being really potent, or you just are really relaxed and kind and quiet, and there is no thinking, there's no figuring out how, and there's no doing involved. So we talked about at the beginning of this. Oh, hi, Tiffany. Oh, I love Tiffany. Welcome. Happy to have you here. We're just having conversations about magic. Thank you for joining. And hi, Angelique. And so with this, okay, so you're looking at this court situation, and there is a sense that the court can, so the rules of this reality, the court can take your power. The court has power over you. So if you buy that lie, then your only choice is to either surrender to the court having power over you, or to fight the court having power over you. Which actually, just every time you're fighting against something, you're giving it power, by the way. Oops. So when you go to these energy, space, consciousness, choice, magic, miracle, mystery, possibility questions, then you start to become an energy that allows these different possibilities. It catalyzes change, and it's a being rather than a doing. And so when you take action from being, then there's a lot more space and a lot more ease involved. So Heather says, yes, thank you. Dealing a lot with the lies and manipulation, demonic people were required to be quiet in court, or you are excused. Yeah. So hopefully you have the demon clearing, so you could clear demons while you're in court. You can clear entities while you're in court. And then also, for those of you that don't know, there's this magical tool called truth. So if you ask truth in your head or out loud, the people involved have to answer truthfully, or everyone knows that they're lying. So sometimes I'll be in a situation, I'll just be sitting there in my head, and I'm going to do it to you all right now. And you just go, truth, 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 truth. And it's interesting because you'll see people when they're trying to lie, sometimes they'll blink and they're actually like, and they'll lose their train of thought. It's a fun little magical trick. So play with that, Heather, and hopefully that contributes to the life that you're creating with this choice. Okay, guys, we're almost wrapping up here, but I did want to just check in. Oh yeah, you've tried the truth thing. Cool. So try that, and then ask to now play with this, being the energy, being the potency, being the power, being the catalyst, the possibility, the contribution, and the source for a different reality for you. Cool. Leonie says, Cassy does a yearly program about being magic. Oh yeah, second calls tonight. You can still join. Thank you, Leonie. Yes, I do. And we're actually doing, so during this membership that we have going on, we do wizard play. And so we're going to play with some of our unique tools with each other. And I'm really excited to explore this. So Naramata says, is it not so great idea to give our magic to others, or we could gift some, but the cost of losing our own magic? Okay, great question again. So I'm going to answer this, and then one more question, then we're probably going to wrap it up for today. So here's the thing is, you might hear this in some realms, some modalities, that you kind of have. I remember this being explained to me when I was a kid. It's like you have a basket and you have a number of apples. And if you give all your apples away, you have nothing left in your basket for you. And so I started to kind of live my life from this ideal, this concept. Okay. When I came to Access Consciousness and started to learn about the, I would say, the awareness of infinite being. So an infinite being actually has infinite energy. So this concept of this basket with these finite, limited amount of apples was shattered for me. Because I'm like, in this scenario, I'm finite. I have finite energy. I have finite magic, if you will. If you acknowledge that you are an infinite being with infinite energy, with infinite magic, with infinite awareness, with infinite knowing, could you ever run out? Do you have to save some for you? Are you going to lose your own magic? Look at that. So if you are making yourself a finite being, then absolutely you are going to feel depleted. You are going to have a sense of a loss of your own magic. If you acknowledge that you are an infinite being with infinite capacities and infinite access to magic, then you can never lose or run out of magic. Now you might want to look at if you're being the source for someone else's magic, that might not work out so good for you. And it creates this source point where they have to keep going to you, keep going to you, keep going to you. And that can make you feel like tired and drained and exhausted, right? Because what's happening is that you will make yourself the source and then you will resist being the source. So you make yourself the source, and as they're coming and they're taking and taking, they're no longer receiving. You start to put walls up, and the exhaustion is actually holding your walls up from someone constantly taking. And as you put your walls up, you have less access to that infinite energy that the universe will just keep filling you up with. So everywhere you've done that and then bought the lie that you had to protect your magic or protect your energy, will you just train and create that? Right, wrong, good, bad, Pokemon, old age, shorts, boys, beyonds. When someone receives from you, it's actually very energizing. When you're giving more than someone can receive and they have to take from you, that can be depleting. And that depletion is actually an awareness that you're giving someone more than they can receive. So you can ask, am I trying to be the source for magic? And is it not something that this person can receive or would like to receive? Maybe instead you be the catalyst for them having their own magic. Maybe you're the possibility that invites them to more magic. Maybe you're the contribution so that you're gifting and you're receiving that allows more magic and more magical play. A very different concept in playing with this magic. So everywhere any of you bought that you had a finite amount of magic, and then if you were the gift of magic to someone or something that you were going to run out, or that anyone could actually truly take your magic, will you just train and create that, please? Right, wrong, good and bad, pocket pod, all night, shorts, boys, and beyonds. So Joanne says, I stopped. Oh, Heather says, being the catalyst, that feels like. Cool. Joanne says, I stopped showing up smalls for everyone else, and honestly, everything has changed for me. So cool. I have attached people into my life that don't want me, or attracted, I think that's what she meant. Attracted people into my life that don't want me to be small and encourage me to be me. Okay, and then yeah. So you guys, look at that space right now that she's inviting you to, and if you would like more of that, just ask for it. I'll have that. I'll have more people in my life that aren't asking me to be small, that aren't projecting and demanding that I be small, that actually are grateful when I show up as more of me. And would you be willing to be grateful? Even if you don't have anyone in your life like that right now, would you be willing to be grateful when you show up as more as of you? So Narabat, I've seen I could gift others, they will grow and create magically, but did not create that much for me. I have a huge capacity, love to give, but would love to create for myself. Cool. So look at where could you activate contribution here? So contribution is gifting and receiving at the same time. So maybe they pay you for this. So you receive money in exchange for this gift of magic. So you have this huge capacity. So how could this capacity make your life greater? And it might be that you might be paying for sessions, and it might be something else. Be with that question and play with that question of that capacity. And Heather says, same for her. So she asked about people contributing. Yeah, and Naramata says, wow, exactly. So deeply grateful. Okay, guys, wow. Thank you so much. This was such a gift and such a contribution to me, and I get a lot of people, and hopefully a lot of people will see this even after today, and it will be a gift, a contribution, maybe a catalyst, maybe a possibility in their world to be that power, be that potency, no matter what's going on, no matter what someone is demanding of you, because that is the gift that you can be for you. That is the kindness and the caring that you could be for you. So thank you everyone for joining. We will see you next Thursday, right here, same place, same time. And for those of you that don't know, we put out a forum usually Monday, And you can write in your questions, and those questions often catalyze this conversation. So thank you everyone that wrote in, and feel free to write in for next week, and we'll see you then, guys. Bye.